I'm changing
We are
my
going
avatar
live.
too fast.
We've started it,
Get
and
ready.
Alright, hello.
you've
Get
immediately
ready.
yelled at everyone.
I am so sorry.
Five.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, it's live
Welcome
now.
back to the Exit Point
Nice.
podcast. We've got 24 people here. This is a pretty big turnout already, and I'm pretty happy about how this is starting. So, Sashato released this thing on the wiki recently where he had said that the SCRS would get released in like a couple weeks, and he released it the day after he said, like a couple days after he said that. So the SCRS is out finally. I think that's really cool. What do you
Yeah,
guys?
it's finally out. Probably since I started playing Antipoint, I've always waited for the SCRS. I know that was like the first mission I was really excited about, just from the name of it.
Honestly, when
The
Sish
SCR
announced
set.
that, and like he released it like a day later, it gave me whiplash. I did not expect that.
I don't think anyone expected Sish to just
Yeah.
throw it
Now
out
2
there within like
weeks,
a couple
probably,
days of
and then it's the
announcing
next
it.
day. I
So,
mean, so far it has like by
Yeah.
far the most likes on the discussion pages, so it's probably was appreciated by quite a few.
I love how every time the community starts to like die down and like hype and stuff, Sasha just releases something like a teaser or something, and everyone just like explodes. Like the community just like completely
Yeah.
skyrockets in popular.
Honestly.
Everyone's getting really hyped for this one mission. I think that's what Entry Point needed at that point. So now that it's out, what do you guys think of it? I think it's in Canada, which is certainly a different area than we've ever been before. And
Yeah.
No,
Toronto.
no. Scientists. Remember?
Scientist was in Canada. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
Canada.
well, forget I said
London,
that.
of course. Everybody knows London, the most Canadian city.
I think it's the first time we've ever No, wait, no, that's not true either. Damn. I was about to say it's the first time we've ever infiltrated a government facility, which is wrong. We have infiltrated another government facility,
Yeah.
but this time it's for intel, and I think that's pretty cool. So, like, first impressions for the SCRS. What do you guys think about it?
I really like it.
I love
It's
it.
very
Yeah.
huge.
I love the theme.
It's huge in my opinion, but oh well.
Yeah.
I think it's like the
Pentos
first
score,
time. Well,
music.
I think it's the first time they introduce like mechanics where disguises give you like access to open doors, like chips, which kind of led me to remember that like every single mission introduces something different. The Black
Yeah.
Site introduced how the guards came back. The Financer introduced how the guards would like notice if they're missing. What else was there? I think the Lake House introduced the giant door.
The pagers.
The pagers. That was
Yeah.
something different. Where
God.
some of the guards
Before
would have
all
pagers if you
had
knocked
those-
someone out.
Distractions.
Yeah, they introduced distractions. I think
And
that was
metal detectors.
metal detectors
Those
was
were interesting.
yeah. Well, that's been there since Withdrawal, and Withdrawal
Yeah, I mean,
introduced
Withdrawal.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? How like the more Sashato moves forward in the story, the more interesting mechanics are added and removed
Yeah.
and changed
More
for
complex,
each mission.
more challenging.
That just makes me more excited for like Black Dusk, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be
That's gonna be
something.
the juggernaut of series.
Oh boy.
So now that the SERS is out and like we kind of know what happens in the story, how do you think it's going to progress from there? Like, what's happening next?
The director is going to die.
He's gonna-
That's
Exactly.
just my theory. That's just my theory.
I mean, in the briefing it says, yeah, we're going after him, so Halcyon Bunker is next, probably.
Yeah. So
Great,
if you go to like the Iron Man, if you go into the Iron Man run, and you find like if you finish like the whole thing, it goes to like plan the final strike, which it sounds
Oh.
very epic, and I want to see
Yeah,
how Black Dusk turns
definitely.
out.
I could imagine Black Dust being quite a bit more longer than the usual missions, hopefully at least.
I would like something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool if we could have a mission that could like take like what upwards of 15 minutes to complete,
Yeah.
and you got to
Imagine, like,
infiltrate the final Halcyon facility. I think that'd be
like
really
you have a
cool.
part that's as big as Deposit, and then a second part that's as big as, I don't know, SCRS maybe. Maybe that's too big, but would be nice to have that.
So
Onwards to questions?
yeah, what?
Onwards to the questions.
Sure. Cloud's got some questions prepared, I think.
Oh, Oh, you want to start with me? Okay.
Well, we've
All
got a
right.
lot started right now.
All right. Let's just start off in general. What made you guys like dedicate yourselves to like the EP community? Like Sparrow, you run the podcast. Breakbar, you help run the wiki, and Dart, you're just everywhere.
That's nice.
Personally, uh, I decided to dedicate myself to running the EP, or at least taking part in the EP community, because I think owning EEPC has like really changed my perspective on a lot of things, and it's also like helped me be who I am today. I don't know. I feel like the community has like a lot to offer in exchange for a lot to receive from like the game. And I think that I just really like the game itself as well.
I see.
Yeah, for me actually, I have to say, if you'd asked me like a year ago if I wanted to work on the wiki and said that I would, I honestly never expected that I would be working on that. Mostly before the wiki, I was just strolling around, chatting here and there, but in the summer when I joined, I quite enjoyed it, and now it's pretty much my favorite thing that I do. Yeah.
What about you, Dart?
I joined pretty early, or probably late for everyone else, but during the Kill House, the game was way different compared to other games I played, and the community was actually small at that time. Plus, I was a noob at notoriety, and I found this something that I could understand, as there weren't 5 million buttons to click.
All right.
Dart, why are you an admin in so many servers? That's the question I want to hear answered.
I just am. I just am.
You just are.
You just are. Dart's a very special case. Speaking
Yes,
of
in
Dart,
special ways.
when did you first meet Sparrow,
Oh,
and
God.
how was your first time on the podcast with him?
Okay, so we met playing Hexaria way before.
I'm
Entry
not
Point.
sure if that's. Are you sure it was Hexaria? Because I feel like it was something else.
It's the official version now.
We met during Hexaria, like
Yeah.
really. Okay.
Let's see. As for my first time on the podcast, I was scared. I was terrified. I was afraid my voice was going to come out wrong. But I enjoyed
So
it
me right
afterwards.
now.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
definitely do not regret being on the podcast.
All right. Breakbar. How did you get into EP and become one of its top contributors? Like, how did you become the one that like runs the entire show now?
Yeah, I still kind of asked my question myself today, because I started editing like midsummer, here and there, a few pages, and then about 2 weeks later, I get approached by Shadow, and they just asked if I want to run it as an admin. I was quite surprised. Probably helped that right before that I made the Glass wiki. I mean, it doesn't really need a wiki, but we were so hyped that we quickly made one. Yes, there's a lot of info on it, you can trust me. And then I just love doing it, to be honest. It's great because you can do a lot of stuff besides just editing. There's a lot of web development that the wiki allows you to do. That's why the front page looks so nice. You get all the colors and that looks nice.
What's it like actually like running the wiki? Do you have like trolls that like change some of the websites and like change some of the pages up that
There are vandals here and there, maybe I'd say every 2 to 3 weeks, but there's a lot of tools to quickly ban them. So just delete a few things, revert a few edits, and block them. So that's it. Nothing much, fortunately.
You did a really good job with the formatting of the wiki. So props
I
to
worked
you.
on that a lot. The front page took me maybe 2 to 3 weeks just to get all the things done. Those
it's really impressive.
colors
Actually.
and that, yeah.
And that's called dedication.
Dedication.
Okay. Finally, Sparrow, Mr. Sparrow.
Hello.
Sparrow.
Okay.
If you were to look back on where you came from in regards to like entry point, would you have thought that you'd be running like the most successful EP servers out there, or
Okay.
not?
No,
Why not?
that's an opinion.
I wouldn't call it successful.
Well,
That's a strong word to use.
It's active. That's what I meant.
Didn't think I would be okay. Well, when I started the EPC, I've said this in another podcast as well. When I started the EPC, I originally done it because I thought it was the only EP server out there. So I kind of wanted it to become like a successful server that people would go to talk about Entry Point. Little did I know, there's a little more to it. But I don't think I expected it to become as big as it is today, and I think that's a really big surprise for me. And I think that's a really cool thing that I've been able to do over the past couple of years or year and a half.
I see. Anyways, I think that's enough questions for me for right now, at least. I have an entire list.
Okay,
of-
well, I was kind of interested in what you guys thought now that the SCRS is released. I think we've got one more mission left and 3 cutscenes that Sish hasn't released yet. I think it's 3. Is it 3 or is it 4?
Yeah, it's 3.
Including epilogue?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
So it's
Yes.
3 more cutscenes. We
And then one
don't know what's
mission.
happening in any of them. What do you guys think now that like AP is coming to an end? How do you guys imagine the EP community to say for like a year from now when Black Dusk is released and everything's done? Is the game still going to continue to get developed, or is Sish going to work on a different project, or what do you guys think is going to happen?
My personal opinion is that I think Sish is going to like work on something else, because he's been working on EP since what, like 2017.
Yeah, I think Entry Point is going to be finished after that. I doubt there will be like a sequel or that, so hopefully Sish will stay around.
Probably the parts that would still be alive are the Shadow War tournaments and the speedrunners.
Yeah,
Probably.
Speedrunning. That will be interesting to see. Entry Point like 2 years from now. Iron Man completed in sub 20 minutes. Okay, if Sish ends up creating like a second, like another game, or just in general like different games, I think I'd like support that, and I'd be going for whatever Sish happens to create next. And I think that's
Yeah, definitely.
kind of important because I think Entry Point's created some, like Sish created Entry Point in this sense that it's never been a game like this ever on Roblox before. Notoriety doesn't count, all right? Entry Point
I think-
is a story-based game that's based off of something that I've never seen on Roblox before. If you look at like the front page now, all you see are like Adopt Me, Jailbreak. These are all games that are like meant to kind of have repetitive content and things like that. But if you actually had like a story-based, story-driven adventure game where you kind of, okay, I shouldn't say adventure game, but you get what I mean. It's different than it's ever been before, and I think that maybe with the release of Entry Point, the final version of Entry Point with Black Dusk, people might be influenced also to create more games like this, or just in general different games.
Yeah, I think with Entry Point, really the thing that keeps me hooked is really just the story, the lore. You know, when I'm not playing and, you know, I think about it, the story and the lore just really wants to keep me playing and play more. Because I think in total, there isn't that much gameplay content. You can probably play through the game in 2-3 days if you know the mechanics. But otherwise, yeah. I recently rewatched like the cutscenes from the beginning, and it's really great to see the Freelancer cuts, Halcyon cutscene, and that Rose. How far we've come for these missions and cutscenes.
Anyway, I think we've got some pre-prepared questions we're gonna throw off, unless we got something else to say. You guys have anything else or no?
Do you have anything to say?
Right now, I don't have anything planned. No. Let's start it off with everyone. Okay, so the way this podcast was run was that everyone from the 56 responses we got, everyone picked a answer or a question that they really liked, and they're gonna ask everyone this. And yeah, so let's start it off. First, we've got Black Hawk asking, "Do you think that Jackdaw is actually no? Who picked this answer? Actually, hang on.
I did.
Dart
Okay.
did.
Yeah, there.
Can you read it out to us?"
Sure thing. So Blackhawk asked that, do you think that Jackdaw is secretly using the Freelancer for his own needs, or does he and the Freelancer actually have a close relationship? Also, do you think that the Freelancer will die in the ending and another Freelancer will join, hence repeating the cycle again? I feel like it's a mixture of both. Like, everyone in the Entry Point universe is trying to get rich. They're trying to be successful, and they're not above backstabbing other people to get what they want. Yeah, I definitely think that Jack does use Freelancer for his own needs. But I also think that throughout the missions, we've developed a close bond with Jackdaw. Like, after the withdrawal, then the scientist, and then the SCRS. It's sort of like how we became close to Rose.
And the catch.
Okay, yes, and the catch.
Sorry.
Do you think that the Freelancer will die in the ending? Yes. That's just my own opinion. That's just my own opinion.
We get to death.
Okay. Hang on. I think that it's okay. Well, Jackdaw is definitely using the Freelancer for his own needs. The only question is whether or not they actually they're okay with each other and they actually like agree to work with each other. I think the reasoning behind this is that Jackdaw knows of the capabilities of the Freelancer and like tries to use the Freelancer to the best of their ability. And a common theory that's appeared is that Rose actually isn't dead, and Jackdaw is just using that to boost the Freelancer's opinion or hate towards Halcyon, which is I don't think it's a possibility at this point, but it certainly is a probability that the Jackdaw is using that. It may be true, and Jackdaw's just using that and telling them that just so they can actually have a hate towards Halcyon, so they actually have like an incentive to go up against Halcyon and defeat them once and for all in that final raid against Halcyon. I think it's definitely a possibility that Jackdaw is just using the Freelancer for that. But I'd also like to think that, you know, it's there's still a chance that they're working together because they just don't like Halcyon. And the Freelancer dying in the end, I don't think that's going to happen. Mostly because there's an epilogue after that. And unless the Freelancer dies in epilogue, then I think the Freelancer is going to stay throughout the whole story. Just because we've grown with these Freelancers. People have created their own stories. And Sish wanted to leave that creativity to everyone else. And he wouldn't just end it right there, I don't think. Then again, we've been wrong before about Sish, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I really hope we don't get killed off right at the end. Oh, epilogue. We get the credits and then bam.
The end.
Yeah.
At least you go out with a bang.
Thanks for playing. All your character slots have been deleted. Good luck.
Thanks for playing. All your 12 characters that you worked so hard on are dead.
Yeah, thanks for your 1280. It's over now.
It's over.
You can go home.
Here's a badge.
Go home. What are you doing?
You have played enough.
What do you think, Cloud and Breakbar?
You can go ahead, Break.
Well, epilogue is... I really don't have any ideas. It's a lot can happen for sure. I hope we kill the director at least. I don't want to see him in epilogue, but I'm not so sure about Jackdaw. You know, Sish has killed off so many characters, and I feel like one of them might die before the game ends. So yeah, but I don't think the Freelancer will die. We will probably survive.
I see. Do I think that Jackdaw is secretly using the Freelancer? Well, yeah. But does he have a close relationship with him or them? Well, the thing is, I think Jackdaw like slowly got more and more attached to the Freelancer like over time as the story progressed. Because in Withdrawal, it seems like Jackdaw like wants absolutely nothing to do with us. But after the events of Retribution, things got more serious, and then maybe that they got a little bit more closer. And do I think the Freelancer will die? Unfortunately, yes. But there's a secret part of me that hopes that they won't, because, you know, the Freelancer is kind of like my baby.
That makes sense.
All right.
Hang on. I'm trying to find the wiki page for this.
Which one are you looking for?
I'm trying to find like the mission intel where they show the thing.
That's on the missions pages. Let me
Hang
send
on.
it.
So
Yeah.
to prove what Cloud's saying, like in the withdrawal it says, "I've given you an address out west. Rob it. Any questions? No. Then get to work." And then if you go to the scientist, it says, "We've been contacted by a scientist who wants to defect from Halcyon." It sounds more you know.
It sounds more like warm and like
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds nicer
Kid.
than what's been there before. And then the SCRS says we know all Halcyon runs most of their operations on the Ontario region and stuff like that. And they seem much more, or Jackdaw seems much more, what's the word, warm, yeah, to the operative.
Yeah, they
So
trust
that's
us
just certainly a
more.
possibility that over time they just became more fond of them.
yeah.
On to the next question. Who got the? I think it was Breakbar was going to answer this one.
All right, yeah, this one. Why is the SCRS Legend badge ringing the 416? Oh yeah, that's the area code of Toronto and the Toronto area. And yeah, this was just the first part. And what are our ideas about Black Dusk and the remaining cutscenes? Well, I think Jackdaw is going to be really interesting. I have two predictions roughly. Either one that Jackdaw dies, which I hope he doesn't, because he'd be nice as a mission coordinator. The other one probably that some of his past is revealed, because we still don't really know why he betrayed Halcyon. We know, like, in dedication, I think they said like he started killing them off and defecting, but otherwise it's quite a mystery to what happened. Maybe he found something out that he wasn't supposed to, or I don't know. Yeah, but I'm excited for the Jackdaw cutscene.
I'd like to see. Okay, so regarding the ideas for Black Dusk and the remaining cutscenes, for Black Dusk, I'd like to see like we have to go and like. Okay, two things I want to see. One, I want to see us try to assassinate the director, or something of that
God.
sort.
Okay.
Yeah, that
And
would be nice.
two, I want to see another cutscene like that we see in the Black Site mission. I think that was really cool when we got to like give Rose the gun. It was like, "My name is blank. I'm here to rescue. Like Halcyon sent me. We're getting you out of here." I think that's really cool, and we should be able to like experience that again in the final mission.
Yeah, I would love it if Black Dust would end like you finally get to the director in his office and like, "My name is Player," you shoot him, and then cuts to epilogue.
Dramatic.
Would be nice. Yeah,
Dramatic.
something like that.
Hmm. You see, I'm pretty sure Black Dust is gonna be like a bunker of some type, because like Rivera's dialogue does hint to like a bunker being like nearby Toronto,
Yeah,
especially in the scientists.
it's mentioned in the intel too. Like their
Yeah.
classified northern bunker, Halcyon is using for research. So
Yeah.
yeah, some research project.
And I have a feeling that like Black Dust is gonna like again rendezvous back to Black Dawn, and I have a
Yeah.
feeling that we're going to like do something with like a scientist or something
We're gonna
again.
drop a burning building on the director.
You know it, baby. And for the remaining cutscenes, I think Ashes has to be like how the Freelancer meets Jackdaw, because like there's no. I would like an explanation, please.
Oh, you know what I want to see in Black Dusk? I want to see Jackdaw confront the director and be like, "I've known you all this time.
Yes.
You killed my father. Prepare to die." I'm kidding. I'm
Stand
kidding.
off between the two.
My name's Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
So
God.
yeah, I want to see some form of confrontation in the Black Site. I mean the Black Dusk. I think that'd be pretty cool to see. All right, moving on to the next question. question that I picked from Hans, asking, what were your thoughts of each of the missions when they came out, if you remember? And if you take this all into account, what is your favorite mission if you take your feelings for them out when they first came out? So like, for each mission, what were your thoughts when they first came out, and what do you think of them now after they've been released for like a certain amount of time?
Okay. I only started playing over like the summer of 2019. So
Yeah.
the only mission that the when Lake House first came out to me, it was like super I want to say difficult at first, but after the whole hype settled down, I was like, huh, this is pretty easy.
Um, for me, I've been here since Kill House was released, and every single time the missions come out, I've had this like sense of what's gonna happen. You know, is this mission more difficult? You know, is this a grindable mission? What kind of lore is going to be introduced? I've always found that every single mission that was released is something fun, and that's generally the idea you want to have for a game that's based off of different missions entirely. So personally,
Yeah.
my favorite mission at the moment would have to be the SCRS. Just
Of
because
course.
I like the idea of infiltrating a government facility for intel.
Stop me.
Don't tell anyone about it.
Robbing the intelligence service. Yeah. For me, I still remember when Deposit 8 came out in like, what was it, late 2018. That was probably one of the best gaming experiences I ever had. Because you've been training in the kill house for many weeks, and then you just get in, the music, the atmosphere, you're in a city, and all the NPC side was amazing. I really loved it. Deposit is still my favorite, definitely.
Definitely, yes.
Should
I
I
agree with Breakbar.
should I read mine?
What?
Should I read mine? My question.
Oh, that one.
Oh yeah, moving on. Wait, no, Dart, you didn't answer it yet.
Wait, yeah.
Deposit is definitely still my favorite mission.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Why is that?
Just how long I've played it, and it has a unique feel to it. Like
Yeah, I
Breakbar
agree.
mentioned, we were in the kill house, and then all of a sudden the Deposit releases.
It was such a big change.
I can't
Deposit
remember
has
if-
such a nostalgia factor for
I
me,
know.
and I'm just like,
Personally,
The-
for what made for me Deposit special was just that you can explore, walk around. I know one of the first things I did was walk up the garage, and you could just see into the upper offices, and that blew my mind back then. Walk around, case the place, look for infiltration points. I really loved it.
Yeah. The deposit actually felt like you were inside of a city and you were actually infiltrating a bank,
Yeah.
which I think that actually creates a very unique feel, especially for like a game that's yeah.
And it
I
Yeah,
think
wasn't
that's
just
cool.
it wasn't
I
just
definitely. Oh, sorry. You
yeah.
can
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I definitely do like missions that you can just walk 5 feet without being spotted, do a clear reconnaissance, set up microcams, then go in.
Yeah.
The more
God.
yeah. It's the kind of mission where you can start off like being any random person just on the street, and then eventually find your way inside of this facility and be able to infiltrate that and then just leave without being spotted. That's the consensus of stealth, and I really like that idea.
Yeah. Also, I don't think too many missions have replicated it so far, but you can almost access it the whole way around. You know, back alley, sideway, and the really big glass wall. It gives you a big insight into the building itself, and you can like, plan ahead where you can infiltrate, where you can go. Yeah.
This is kind of going off of the other question that I picked, but what are you guys' thoughts about the missions being released out of order, or at least for the first few? We started with deposit, then we went to financier, I think. Then we went to
Then Black Site.
No,
I think.
Black Site was pretty late actually. Was
Yeah,
it
Withdrawal
Withdrawal
was
after that?
first. Yeah, Withdrawal, Black Site, Lake House, Scientist, and
Then the SRS.
Oh, all right.
Then Black Dusk.
and
I
Night
think.
Heist.
I honestly
before, yeah.
like when like storytelling isn't just like straightforward. Like
Yeah.
I like the entire show don't tell sort of story line thing where it's not so concise and you can actually like theorize like what's going to happen or like what did happen in order for like a certain outcome to like you know. But that's probably why I like Hollow Knight so much because like you just appear out of nowhere and you just come to this like city
Back
of
to
like
Hollow Knight.
ruin. And yeah, you just have to like defeat bosses and you have to like theorize why. But yeah, that's enough of me.
What was I gonna say? I like stories. I agree with Cloud here. I like stories that are non-linear. When you're presented with information that's given over time in a planned manner. Like, for example, if you knew the end of a story but you didn't know what happened to get to that point, that can really create suspense and actually like drive the player or like the reader or whatever kind of story it is into the actual story of the game. And I really like that sort of feel that you get, especially with what Shadows created here.
Yeah, I agree. If you look at it, if it were done non-linearly, or linearly, then I'm pretty sure quite a bit of the suspense and excitement would fall off. Because I think probably if we would have seen Ashes in advance, we would have lost a lot of the surprise. I'm sure that's gonna be something very interesting once it comes out.
I'm sure Ashes is hidden for a reason.
Yeah. And what I love is basically for the first half or so of the whole game, Halcyon is portrayed as this, yes, cool crime company or organization. Go work for them. They're fun and they pay you. And then we later find out how cold and cruel they actually are. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to our final question, picked by Cloud.
Saving the best for last.
Cloud, before the podcast happened or started, Cloud was kind of upset that I chose to pick his last.
Hey,
So I had to say that it was the saving the best for
don't,
last.
Dude, stop.
So Cloud, why don't you read your question for us? That's the best.
I'll do it out of
clearly.
spite now that you said that. Anyways, Frito M asked, what is your next project after Entry Point, if there is one? Like, what are you guys planning on doing? Aside from,
Well, I'm probably going to finish the wiki because even though it might look like most of the pages are complete, I've got like a to-do list of maybe probably 50 or so things that will take me at least 3 to 4 months. So yeah, I'll be at the wiki for quite a while.
I see.
Speaking of the wiki, before this, I want to continue this question, but speaking of the wiki, I just wanted to say, I think a really cool thing for the wiki would be to have like stats for how much damage each gun does and like the distance and like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that is actually something we already have. And
Okay.
Sparrow, where have you been?
Wait, hang on.
Wait.
No, wait.
Wait, we have recently released a page where we explain how damage works in the game, like gun damage, how does armor affect it, which armor enemies wear, how much health they have, that and that. But we're still kind of missing adding all the statistics to the weapon pages itself. I have like it all in my notes, but I'll try to edit as soon as I can. So you all can, I don't know, calculate how many shots you need to kill a SWAT on Elite. Yeah.
That's actually
If you're
pretty cool.
interested in that.
That's really cool. And I should have done my research beforehand. Anyway, Cloud, what are you going to do after Entry Point's finished?
I am glad you asked. I am probably gonna do absolutely nothing. No, I'm kidding. I'm probably gonna work on my own game, or maybe start my own webcomic, because I've been planning stuff. I've been planning big projects for like quite a while now, and it's like about time where I like, actually do something about it.
Creating a game is some
And
serious business, Cloud.
you know it, baby.
I think I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. I said it in another podcast, but I'll say it again. After entry points, I'm gonna be looking seriously into music production, or at least something to do with technology in general. So I'm gonna be
that's
creating
nice.
music for other games and just film, maybe. Film music is what I'm interested in. What about you, Grant?
Yeah.
You've been muted for the past 5 minutes. What's your next project after entry point?
I don't have any plan. I'll take it as it comes.
He's a gamer.
He's a true gamer.
Um,
Good.
What?
What?
Okay. So that's the end of our prepared questions. At least from the community. Have you guys got anything else to talk to each other about, or no?
Let's see.
Well,
I still have more questions if you guys want me to ask.
Okay.
sure.
Alright, this is gonna go out of order. Would you like a sequel or prequel to Entry Point? Why or why not?
I want to see. Okay, well, Sashato mentioned this before, that there will definitely be no sequel to Entry Point, but there may
Yeah.
be a prequel. I think the reason why they said that was that either something really big happens in Black Dusk and it's not possible to continue the story, or
We
it's
get
because
killed.
We
no,
die.
that actually might be it. Yeah, we might die. Actually, that's a good point. We might die in like Black Dusk, and like
Yeah,
the story
maybe.
never continues because we're not able to continue it because we're dead. Prequel possibility. Sachado said that they don't like the idea of forcing backstory onto operatives because they wanted to give the player the freedom to choose their operative, their name, their backstory, how they got there, and that sort of thing. So while the detailed Raven that they give Rose in the what's the cutscene called?
Critical,
The
I
critical
think.
cutscene. While they gave the Rose that gun, it's certainly something that I don't think he wanted to force too much upon. So either a prequel is going to happen where it's not based on the Freelancer, or he's going to end up having to force a backstory onto our Freelancer, which I'm not sure if he wants to do.
I see.
What do you guys think?
What I would love honestly is yeah, not a sequel but a prequel of maybe one of the characters. Like imagine a short storyline of Rosa's past, like how she got into Halcyon, maybe some operations she did as an operative. Because back in Black Dawn, she was an operative still, and maybe it could end like with the Black Dawn mission,
That would
and
be
then
kind of
you
interesting.
jump into
Imagine
entry
playing Black
points.
Dawn.
Yeah,
Black Dawn is
I would
so
love
hard,
that.
guys. Oh my god.
What if Sish created a prequel, but it wasn't the same genre that it is today? Like, what if it was instead of a mission with like you can create your own controls? What if it was a story game, like I don't know, Detroit Become Human, where you could like
I
choose
was
your
about to
path?
say that.
Oh my god.
That would be interesting.
That'd be
maybe,
really
That would certainly be something else entirely.
yeah, might be a bit too big of a project if it would have as many choices as Detroit, but
Oh, yeah.
it would definitely be interesting.
Yeah. Other than Entry Point, are there any games that you enjoy as much?
Well, I want to hear what Breakbar has to say about this. Do you play any games outside of Entry Point?
Oh, well, on Roblox, honestly, no. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't like 99% of any games on Roblox. Entry Point is pretty much the only
Most of
thing
them
I
are
play.
simulators.
And Wisteria, I played it a bit, but it's gotten a bit stale.
What do you
But
play?
Entry Point is really good. I used to play Wisteria a bit on Roblox.
Oh,
But
Visteria.
besides that, one of a few of my favorite games are Warframe, I don't know if you know it. Hitman 2 is great, and a bit similar to Entry Point. I enjoy playing it a bit Entry Point style. There are some guns that are similar. Yeah, those two pretty much.
I see. What about you guys?
Let's see. I tried out World of Magic recently, and despite it being a small open test, it's a very good game.
I
Yeah.
see.
We all know
Currently,
Grand's love for World of Magic as he advertised it multiple times on the EPC. He said,
You literally spammed it in chat, and I was like, "Stop, please."
Wait,
I've
that game is like not a sequel, but from the developer of Arcane Adventures, right?
"Yes, Arcane
Yeah.
Adventures was a really
yeah, I
good
know.
game."
Arcane Adventures was like the second game that I enjoyed back when it was out. I really loved that one. And that was one of the games that actually had a story. It was, I mean, not similar to Entry Point, but it had a story which kept you interested. And yeah.
Yeah. Apart from that, I've been playing Critical Strike recently.
You know what else Grand and I also play? Super Smash Brothers Melee. Okay, no. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think Grand and I play that sometimes, and we sometimes face each other, and I win.
Good job.
That's subjective.
I'm start.
So
My brother
attractive.
just got a Switch, so I'm starting to like
Ooh.
play with it with him, and apparently he's like garbage, and I did not expect that.
So, I play Smash Bros. I'm trying to think. What else do I play? I'm going to play Hollow Knight Silk Song when that gets released for PC, because that just
Good.
sounds like a really cool game that I'm really interested in. On Roblox, I play Phantom Forces, Arsenal.
Yeah, Mr. 176.
I've tried Break-In. I think that's a pretty cool story game. It's certainly a little different than other Roblox games out there. What else? I don't play many games that much as often these days, actually.
You play Arsenal?
Well, okay, well, casually.
looking at the
I
chat and
don't
just
play
asking.
like a lot. Like I don't play really well at it either. I'm just sort of play the game sometimes and I try and win. That's about it. I'd say I'm all right at it.
Sure. Anyways,
Yeah.
as of time, when do you think like the cutscene, all the cutscenes and all the, when do you think Entry Point will be finished? Like, what's your estimate?
Breakbar.
I'd say late May, maybe June, something like that.
I think what's gonna happen is Ash is gonna get released, then Jackdaw's gonna get released, then Black Dusk and
What?
Epilogue will get released together.
Why not
Yeah.
Ashes and Jackdaw at the same time though?
Okay, well,
Maybe.
okay, well, I think that Shadow's gonna end it eventually with Black Dusk and Epilogue. So those
Okay.
Ashes and Jackdaw
No,
are gonna be
Ashes.
released before that.
Ashes is the last thing that ever gets released.
That'd be so funny. Just in
God.
spite of everyone wanting Ashes to get released, no one knows what happens in that cutscene.
Ashes never gets released.
Yeah, it
God.
just stays in there forever.
I think Entry Point is going to end this year, but like more towards like December or something. Because like, I don't know, I just think that way. Because like, it took Lake House a while to like get released.
Well, STRS was pretty quick.
It was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that for Black Dusk, Shadow's gonna like do that same countdown thing that was there for Lake House?
Maybe
That was
There's a
so hype
possibility.
because like once the countdown
Yeah.
started to reach 0, like tons of people joined the servers. Everyone was really excited and hyped for Lake House. It was a really fun time, I must say.
I think Black Dusk will definitely have a timer. You know, last mission, last time you can get excited.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Cloud?
Which type of gameplay do you prefer and why?
Can you elaborate?
Like, do you prefer louder stealth?
Oh,
Oh wow, old question
Yeah.
here.
it's the controversial question in the EP
The
community.
controversial
Louder
question.
stealth.
I want to hear it
Watch,
now.
watch someone make fun of us in the chat right now.
I've already stated
I've
my
watched-
opinions on this.
So I generally prefer stealth. You know, it has more built-out mechanics, and it's just like cool. You're I don't know, an agent, and yeah, you go around do stuff and not just shoot and explosions. But loud is fun too. But I
Sish-
prefer stealth.
Sish has said this before, and I'm gonna say it again.
Oh my
It's
God.
an entry point is a stealth based game. Loud is not the
Sparrow,
intended
stop.
mechanic.
God.
Grant, where do you stand on this?
I stand on stealth, but I really
Yes,
do
of
like.
course, Dart the
I
Infiltrator.
like, but
Darth the Infiltrator.
for loud, if you could send in 1 or 2 operatives in stealth gear, cure certain objectives that would be a pain in loud, and then go in guns blazing. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I guess that would be like a semi-loud, semi-stealth sort of operation.
Well, what if, like in Black Dusk, you could infiltrate there, and then like halfway through, they'd like drop down your gear so you can run loud if you wanted to.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like you couldn't start loud because the bunker that Halcyon has is just too powerful.
Then the hybrid builds could finally become viable.
Yeah, hybrid
Well,
builds
they
are
did-
finally a possibility. I think the first time
They're
that actually been
already-
introduced was I think Scientist because you could sneak in, save Rivera, and then start loud.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the first time it's ever been introduced, and I think people really like that.
Yeah, right now they're only really used for Iron Man, probably on higher difficulties if you want less
Yeah.
damage, but yeah. Would be nice to see that.
What about you, Cloud? Are you on the side of all three of us?
No.
Oh my god.
I am a heretic. I actually prefer loud. Anyways.
Why do you prefer loud?
Mostly because I'm not patient of a person, and like the most recent missions is it's kind of like coded where you have to like wait like a certain amount of time, and I'm like, no, let's just jump in. And and I feel like with loud you can meet like more people that way, because like doing loud solo is kind of a pain. And you can obviously do stuff on your own, but like loud solo, man, that's just another.
I guess
You're
that's kind of
yeah.
true. For if you're going in squads, loud is the fun route, and stealth is the annoying route. Because if you're going with randoms in stealth, it's so much harder. But if you're going with randoms in loud, there's only so much you can get wrong. That's true. That's very true.
I've got a question for all of you.
Oh,
Okay.
a question from Grant. This is a
This is a
beautiful
rarity.
moment. It's a rare moment. Yeah, rare occasion.
What is your Shadow War loadout?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
All
S97
flashbangs.
for the win.
Only flashbangs. It's the only way to play. If the enemy can't see you, they can't shoot you.
I gotta like
Logic.
loadouts actually. I have one that's called the hide and seek loadout, where I basically have all flashbangs.
Exactly. He knows the way.
You just throw them everywhere, and then you run in all
Yeah.
the rooms and shoot everyone.
Pretty much.
You can run, but you can't hide from the flashbangs.
There's no hiding. I am everywhere. You're not.
Personally, I just go with F57, and I think I go with UP9. I don't have like a really elaborate setup or anything. I just prefer an assault rifle.
What about you, Break? You
Oh,
mentioned flashbangs,
Flashbangs.
but
Yes.
you didn't say
Oh,
what kind
well-
of guns you use.
Yeah, usually the F57 is good old reliable. But I've tried the sniper too, because it's, I think, 2-shot on body, right? And if you can hit your shots quickly. Yeah. But flashbangs all the way. I have a question too.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
How far off were your predictions for the SCRS? Like when it came out, I know I really didn't expect like raiding an intelligence agency. I thought it was something more
Let's be
tame.
honest. I think most of us thought it was gonna be in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Except for Améric.
The only reason we thought it was Sacramento was because of that teaser that Sish released, alright? It's not our fault, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I
We've
didn't even
been
know.
bamboozled since the start.
For the SCRS, I didn't predict anything, but all I do know is that Unoff predicted that it was like 100% certain that C would be castle, and he was
All right, yeah. Castle.
Oh my god. Yes, we're going to be infiltrating a castle. Your only weapon is a sword.
Halcyon Knights are coming out.
God.
That's the entire thing. Just you're rushing in, and then there's just Rose standing there with like a sword out, and you like have like a sword battle, and that's the SCRS, and that's it.
Oh. Anyways, I kind of thought the SRS was going to be like a government building, whether it be like a hospital or like an actual like headquarters. Was kind of, yeah.
Yeah, the acronym seemed a little official.
Yeah.
For me, the first thing that came to mind was like a fighting force or something like SWAT or the ETF, SCRS, some raiding group or something like that.
A lot of people thought SC would stand for Steel Cove.
Steel Cove.
Steel Cove Research
Yeah.
Lab was another really popular theory.
Steel Cove really sucks.
Steel Cove really sucks.
So Sishado finally releases the SCRS.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was one of the great.
A lot of people thought the Steel Cove would play a bigger role, but it seems like it's just they're just there. Like they never actually take much part in anything else.
Yeah, just some
Plot twist.
enemies.
Unless the
Freelancer
SCRS ends up having to take part in Black Dusk, I don't see it being very relevant to the story.
You know what would be crazy if all of the enemies that we went up against were just all there, and it's highly unlikely, but it's just a thought. Like the EFTs,
Every
SWAT,
single enemy just shows
Steel
up.
Cove.
You call them all and say, "Hey, we're having a party at the Halcyon bunker. Come over for a
Well,
shootout."
welcome to the Enemies for Life picnic. Come
Exactly.
join us.
Multiple gunships inbound.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
All the enemies are just gunships.
Oh yeah, a
God.
joke I made about the gunships was that the reason why the Halcyon gunships don't do nearly as much damage as I mean the reason that the Canadian gunships don't do as much damage as the Halcyon or the Phoenix one was, or the SCRS one, is because that the Canadian bullets are just filled with kindness and apologies.
Ah yes.
Wait. You just made a bunch of incorrect statements. So, wait. Which helicopter is
The
an
Halcyon
SCRS?
one.
The Canadian, is it Canadian?
It's
Wow.
It's a
Halcyon.
Canadian
Oh
one,
my
yeah. The
God.
Canadian gunship deals less damage than the SCRS one.
Wait.
And
You mean
yes,
the
I
Lake
did
House
complete. I did complete.
Sparrow. It's Halcyon.
Yeah.
That's their gunship.
Is it Halcyon?
Foolish fool.
Yes, it is.
Foolish
Mentioned
fool.
in the dialogue
Oh
line.
my
I thought it was the
God.
Canadian the government that was their security thing.
No, it wasn't.
Alright,
Why would they fire at their own people?
Yeah,
Jacked
the dialogue
up.
line.
Wiz, I
pointed
did
that
complete.
out.
You check my badges. I did complete the.
Revoke it.
Yes,
Revoke that
CRS.
badge. You didn't even know it was Halcyon.
I didn't do loud. I'll be honest. I only did stealth.
So wait,
Tisk,
how do you know about
tisk.
gunship?
Tisk.
People just said that like the gunship did less damage. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Halcyon's just weaker.
I mean, the missile.
I still thought my
hits
joke was
hard
funny
for
though. Come
sure.
on.
Halcyon literally runs away. Of course, they're weaker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
they
we are
can't
no match
risk
for
losing
them.
any more. They can't risk losing any more assets before
Or
the
maybe
final
they were just-
battle.
Maybe they were just preparing for round 2 of gunship.
Can you imagine like the same gunship comes back and it's just like, you shot me down before, but I'm more powerful.
I mean, in
Strike
one
me
of
down,
the-
I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
In one
Oh,
of the
God.
extracting lines, it's mentioned that the military is on its way. So
Oh, yeah.
if we would have stayed longer, then yeah, we
Both
might
of
have
you
got
guys
some more
would have died.
firepower.
Possibly. Or the Canadians' bullets were filled with kindness. Anyway, I've got a question for you, Breakbar. You've
Oh,
been a
yeah.
community helper in the non-existent community. I want to see what's like the funniest story you can tell us about like working as a community helper.
Oh,
Like someone that
I
did something really stupid or something.
I feel like I'm going to really disappoint you because I'm like totally inactive in there. I don't tell that to Ban, but I didn't submit an application back when I was brought on when the lake was released, so I could help out with like managing spoilers and that. But I mean, there isn't really much to do, so I just check in there. Yeah, no bad messages, and that's about it. So
Huh.
unfortunately, nothing.
What about you, Grand? What's the funniest story you have about monitoring so many servers? Can you think of anything?
I really can't remember. I remember that. I do remember actually one recent that I had purged a bunch of messages in one server,
Oh God,
Oh, God.
and
sounds
apparently
familiar.
that was important to someone in another server, so they demoted me over that, and then somehow someone else got dragged over it. I was like, wait, why are you guys so focused on EPC? Like, really? It was a chain of events. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God.
And yeah,
Anyone else
questions?
have any questions?
Right now I have nothing else. Hang on,
All
let me
right,
see.
then. I
Really?
guess that's it. I guess that's it.
We could take some community like live questions if anyone's interested.
Yeah, probably.
Entry point's almost over, so I'm kind of interested to see how the story ends up finishing.
EPC versus Wiki 1.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
people. Okay. I think it's time we publicize the offer.
Oh,
Breakbar,
really?
on behalf
Oh.
of the EEPC community, I would like to challenge the Wiki Discord community, or just the Wiki in
I do
general,
not stand with these
to a
fools.
Shadow War friendly match.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Private server 8v8.
8 to 8. All right. I'm sure we can get something done there.
All
Sure, I'll
right.
get a team together one for one day. Could be interesting. So yeah, I'll accept.
Okay. All right. Okay, it's been confirmed, everyone, let's go. It's been confirmed.
I mean, really the only question is on which side Lemon is. So
Yeah, which side Lemon's on?
that's basically
That's the
it.
big deal.
Lemony, there's a nice wiki admin position opening up if you want to
Lemon,
join our
we
team
only have
right
four.
here.
We only have 4 mods in the EPC.
You're the
Excluding
chosen one, Lemon.
Dart counts as 2
You're
mods.
the Jedi.
Dart does not count as 2 mods. I'm sorry.
Yes, he does.
We only have 4 mods, excluding PRCHT, who's only there for the speedruns. So, I'm just saying, Lemon.
Claude from Odd One.
Or we could just ban
Yeah.
Lemon altogether from this competition.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm kidding.
They are the one who
kidding.
asked the question. So,
You're very respected, Lemon.
yeah.
Let's see. Oh, people were asking if there's gonna be a mission editor to like create your own
Doubt.
missions. I don't think it's gonna
Doubt.
happen.
Doubt.
I really
No.
don't think it's gonna happen. Mostly because gamers have zero creativity, and I don't think that it's possible to create a level editor for a mission-based story game. I mean, like, okay, it's certainly it's an idea, and I can see it being a possibility, but like the amount of coding and work that Stitch would have to put in to actually make that a possibility is a very, very immense. Like it would be really hard to pull something like that off.
Yeah, I think one thing people like to forget that building a mission isn't just plopping down some rooms and some NPCs and maybe some objectives. Like you have to
Yeah.
code all these situations. Like what if you do this objective first? Where can this item spawn? Then all the nav mashing, of course. the NPCs aren't don't walk that freely. Like you have to tell them where
You
they
have to
go
like yeah,
and
you have to
where
like
they
program
don't.
where the NPCs go.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
the
I think it'd be a
areas,
really big
trespassing and
hassle to
that.
pull something like that off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I also
doubt
saw
we would.
another question. I can't scroll up back to it, but like I think someone asked what you're going to do for episode 10.
Hey, yeah, what's episode 10 about?
Yeah, what's
Why are
episode
you guys
10?
expecting a special? Okay, first of all, I had an idea where I could invite everyone who's ever been on the Exit Point podcast back, but that's kind
Oh,
of
wow.
impossible now that
Don't do
Captain
that.
Cringe kind of left the community. Which, by the way,
He
if you're listening to this,
kaboomed.
Captain Cringe, I'm sorry for whatever
Dude,
happened
come
to you,
back.
and we'd love to have you back here.
Please
Regardless,
come back. Garrett, come home.
I think that the possibility to have that many people in a Discord call at the same time would just
Doubt.
not work. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna end up doing, but it might be something different for the episode 10. I just have to really think about it.
They also want your mom to be on the podcast.
No,
Oh,
absolutely
yeah,
not. No.
God.
We're reaching the 1 hour mark. Do you guys want to end it now, or got anything else planned, or what?
I think I have a question, but I think it's already been answered through what you guys have said. But let's just end it off here with like, how did EP as a whole like affect you? Let's end off with a really loaded question, shall we?
Hmm.
You guys want to answer that first, or what? How's this gonna
Can I
go?
go? I mean, personally, it has helped me quite a lot, even indirectly. With the wiki, it's what got me into like programming. Originally, I wanted to make a kind of game similar to EP, but then when I started programming, I kind of went away from like game development, more into web development, like on the wiki what I'm doing now. And those few months ago, I would have probably never thought I'd get this far, which the wiki brought me. So yeah, I'm quite happy I found this game. It has changed my life quite a bit.
I see.
Personally, entry points affected me more through the community than the game itself. The game itself has provided a lot of inspiration to me and for things that I want to create as a music developer. But the community itself, like owning EEPC, has like been the most educational thing that I've done outside of school, to me at least. Because
Oh, God.
because actually like managing, like leading and trying to like control a community with over 400, almost 500 members now is like has been really an interesting experience for me, because not only do I have to like make sure that everything is going as well as planned, I can also like interact with you guys and like, you know, it feels like a really cool experience to be through, and I think I'm not going to forget this throughout my life.
I see. What about
Learn
you,
how to
Dart?
control the masses.
Well, being a mod in many different servers has definitely helped my multitasking. It's like, seriously.
How many servers do you have mod in? I'm curious now.
There is no answer. But I've also learned a lot more how to deal with different personalities of people, how to look for quote unquote evidence. Like, yeah, it's a really great experience.
That's good.
How has entry point affected you, Cloud?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question right there.
You just said that.
When I first got into EP, it in that point in my life, I was kind of like steering away from Roblox as a whole, and I guess entry point just like kind of brought it back. And like art wise, I wasn't in a good place here because like I was in kind of a rut, and entry point kind of inspired me to like draw more, I guess. And basically, I think entry point has kind of like made me improve on my skills. whether it be like art skills or like social skills. I think I learned a lot from EP and its community, and it kind of like, you know, holds a very high sentimental value in my heart, I guess.
Hmm.
So
Well,
yeah.
I certainly think that this podcast was a success. Uh, you guys will be hearing more about EEPC versus Wiki Discord Shadow War.
Oh.
Be sure to stick around for that
Oh
sometime.
yeah. Subscribe for more.
Subscribe for more.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day if you're in EST. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Guys, have any last words or nah?
Nope. See you next time.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, nerds.